So what happens if you take these and mix it up with this? Well, you get a show called Selector Infected WIXOSS. And it's a fantastic mixture of flavors, let me tell you what. Now this show is actually kind of popular, even though, you might not have heard of it here that much. But there's actually like a real card game for it, which is pretty cool. Anyways, it's called Selector Infected WIXOSS. I'm going to tell you why I love it and why you should watch it. Let's go. Oh, by the way, according to MyAnime.net, this show is rated R17+ for violence and profanity. Now, usually when there's violence and profanity, and if you are under the age of 17, you should ask your parents if you should watch anime. No one asks their parents, but you're supposed to, because that's what you're supposed to do for some reason. So this is a dramatization of a kid asking their parents if they can watch an anime. Hey mom! Can I watch this show about anime girls that play Yu-Gi-Oh kind of, but not really, and maybe be sad about it? Thanks! So now that's out of the way, let's get started with the show. Selector Infected WIXOSS is basically what happens if you put Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Magical Girl genre in a blender, and then the blender malfunctions and spits out something so different, yet so beautiful at the same time. Don't drink that shake though, because it'll make you sick. Selector Infected WIXOSS is an anime and manga about a card game for all ages. It is said that there are special cards called L-Rig cards, which are character cards with souls and minds of their own. If you happen to find one of these cards in the pack that you purchase, that means that you become a selector, and must battle against other selectors for the right to become the eternal girl and have your wish granted. Again, I accept this award for best summary. Thank you very much, thank you. So that's the basic plot summary of the show, with no spoilers of course, because you should all know by now that I keep this thing spoiler free. There are two versions of the card game in the world, the regular card game that the normal people play, and the Eternal Girl battles that the selectors play. Got it memorized? Anyway, Selector Infected WIXOSS revolves around Ruko Kominato, who has just gotten thrown into the WIXOSS card game and ends up finding one of the special cards in her deck and becomes a selector. Ruko learns how to play from her grandmother, who she also lives with, and her friends. The special character in her card is named Tama because for some reason that's all she ever says. She also likes to say battle a lot, and she's just an all-around spunky little thing. Tama is the cutest character in this show. She is so cute, man. She's just a little cute little fairy doll thing. Even though she's not a fairy doll, she's a L-Rig card. L-Rig. So let's talk about the characters because they are a main factor of why this show is so great to me. They feel real with real emotions, and it really brings this show to another level. First off, we have Ruko, the main character who gets thrown into this whole Eternal Girl battle without really wanting to be a part of it in the first place. She kind of just wanted to learn the game and become better at it, and she just loves to battle in the game just like Tama, which is why they're a perfect pair for each other. Ruko is pretty awesome as the main character all in all. Next we have Yuzuki Kurebayashi, who is another selector with an L-Rig card who Ruko meets at school and they become best buds. She's a fiery character who also uses a red deck, hence fiery character. She also has trouble hiding her emotions sometimes. Up next we have Hitoe Uemura, a shy girl who becomes friends with both characters. She wears glasses and has an oversized sweater, and she's really cute, I know. Basically she's just an all-around sweet character. There are more characters and stuff that I can say more about, and I could also expand with these three characters more, but that would spoil things, and as I said, no spoilers up in here. So here's where the Yu-Gi-Oh aspect comes in. You know how sometimes in that show when characters would duel, they go into their own little realm? Well, take that and multiply it by how many times Naruto says believe it in the first half of Naruto, and you get the Selector Infected WIXOSS battleground. So when selectors fight, they get transported into a dimension where people who aren't selectors can't go into. The actual battleground also changes according to the relationship and the feelings of the combatants, so it could go from looking and feeling like a calm grassy field to feeling like a dark abyss of darkness. The battles can feel intense or fun depending on the battleground and who's battling, and that just adds to the great tone that this show has. It also has a smackerel of Magic the Gathering in its battles because different colored decks usually have their own theme and also have their own different playstyles. One of the coolest things about the show are the battlegrounds. You see, the battlegrounds, they really have a feel to them that really takes you into the show, takes your soul into the show, and puts you into it. And then you become less of a spectator and you get to feel the emotions that the character has whenever they battle because their emotions are portrayed through the battlefield. This show takes the Puella Magi Madoka Magica route, meaning that it takes the magical girl genre and adds some serious psychological stuff to it. While the WIXOSS card game in the show is for all ages and is super fun, the anime and manga might not be for everyone, so be warned. Now, while I say that it takes the route of Madoka Magica, this show shouldn't be compared to it at all. The only real similarity is that it's a darker magical girl kind of story, so don't think this is just a clone of Madoka Magica. The soundtrack for the battles and the opening and ending songs are also great and add to the dark tone of the show. Honestly, I didn't have too many problems with the show overall. The characters develop and they get fleshed out, the battle scenes are animated nicely, the music fits the tone, and it has a really cute glasses girl in it, and that's all you really need for a show, really. There are 2 seasons and a movie coming up next year, which I'm super excited for. The anime was great in my opinion, and it was a surprise hit. The characters all have a realness to them that adds to the tone of the show. These selectors battle for their wishes to come true, and during the course of this show, you will be wishing right along with them and feeling what they feel. Their happiness, their fear, their hope, these are all real emotions that I think are expressed extremely well in this show, so I can't stress this enough. Watch Selector Infected WIXOSS. Oh, and don't forget your tissues, you might need some. So if after all this you're still not convinced to go watch the show, then there's no hope for you. You have terrible taste, okay? How can you not be into this show after all the shit I've said, huh? After all the time that I've put into doing this video, you're not gonna watch it. What was the point of making the video if no one cares anymore? Shh, it's okay. I care. I care about you, Selector Infected WIXOSS. I care. I care. I'm sorry. I just have a lot of feelings about this show, or should I say, feels about this show. So I'm really passionate about it. And, you know, I kind of go a little crazy when I talk about this show and people are like, oh, I don't want to watch it. Well. So, I'm sorry about my outburst there. But yeah, you should watch the show because I'm asking you very politely and nicely to watch it. Being very gentle now. As you can see, my voice is gentle. So please, check out Selector Infected WIXOSS. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace!